Hello and welcome to the next episode of Switched On with Joseph Barnett. Thank you very much for listening in. And we are at a brand new studio here in East London. And I've got a guest with me. Well, he's not really a guest. He's always with me on my shows, as you've seen on YouTube. Well, he's been on some of them. Anyway, it's TheMoose.
Hello.
Hey there, Moose.
Yeah, all right. How are you?
Good as gold, good as gold. So it's just me and you today, Moose, testing out the new studio in Dalston. It's bloody lovely, isn't it?
It is really, really nice.
Honestly,
it's
it's really nice, brand new studio that's open. And I think it's going to be our new home for the foreseeable future. Well, that's if COVID-19 doesn't kick in severely as of today, Tier 2.
Yeah, Tier 2 today.
What's your take on it, Moose? Sick of it?
I am and I'm not. It's like... the Tier 2 thing, nothing really changes for us. It's been the same as it's been for the last 6 months, which is, just be careful. Don't go around anyone's houses that you wouldn't usually go around for no reason, and play it safe. I've found that more people are complaining about the masks than they seem to be complaining about the tier restrictions, and it's like, come on.
What people going into supermarkets wearing masks?
I think from what I've been talking to people about, that the biggest, it's like the biggest intrusion on their independence and on that free will is the masks.
Yeah,
the people don't like wearing the masks, and it's like, okay, I can understand it and I can't understand it. It's not like they're asking you to wear a Nickelback t-shirt. It's a mask to stop you.
Oh no, I completely agree. I mean, the rules that the government's implemented. You have to follow them. And wearing a mask, I mean, come on, they wear them in Asia anyway because of the CO2 issues. And I just think for the future anyway, we're going to be wearing masks. I think that's the culture we're going to have.
We're living with this now, and it will be.
That's the thing. And it just seems all very reactive to it. I think that, it's kicked off again, as they said with the schools when they, about 4 weeks ago, when they left, they come back from half term. It's in the secondary schools. It's all going to kick off again. It has. Now we've got to lock people up again. And from an economical standpoint, we're really going to suffer. Can we keep doing that? So let's say theoretically that, okay, the numbers go down again. Are we then going to react to it again and shut everything down incrementally and around the country? And the impacts that has on people's jobs. You see in the cinemas now, they're going out of business. You've got British Airways, you've got EasyJet that's not going in Stansted no more. You've got whole industries during the automotive industry going down the pan. And how can things go back to normality? It seems like it's a very complex issue. And I think an epidemiologist or a virologist will obviously have a more of an insight than what I do.
Of course.
But from a layman's standpoint and just looking into it, everything's just so inconsistent. And with the new tier coming in, and what is it, Saturday? Is it the 17th today?
Yeah, it's today.
Today, tier 2's come in.
Yeah.
But yet you can't go in someone's house, but you can go into a restaurant.
Yeah.
And meet them into a restaurant, into a public place.
You can go into a pub, but a pub has to serve you adequate food to be able to serve alcohol with that. So there was a famous story in the paper of a pub was selling a Cornish pasty, which wasn't adequate enough foodage to provide to the public to be able to have alcohol with that as well, unless you served it with a side salad. And then that was perfectly applicable.
So
I'll have a Cornish pasty and 18 pints, please.
4 pints of Stella and a iceberg lettuce, love.
Yes. I'll cut it myself.
I don't know where it's going to end, but we have to remain optimistic, I suppose.
But more importantly, what hasn't, and I know jobs and from an economical standpoint is terrible, but we are only just touching on people that's mental health is affected. Which should have been a worry from the get-go, but wasn't. I've spoken to a few people in their the 80s that said, if it's going to carry on over Christmas, I'm just going to go and do it because I'm 80-odd.
Yeah,
I'm not seeing my family.
Exactly. It gets to a point where you've got to live your life.
Of course. Yeah.
And, if you look at the statistics of the virus itself, it harms a very small minority of the public, albeit we have to protect them. And I completely agree with that. And what methodology they use, I'm all for it. But how long do you do it? Because you have to live your life. You can't keep doing this for years. Let's just say they find a vaccine soon, or they don't, and the vaccine doesn't resolve it, because now they're coming out and saying it's not going to resolve it. You can't keep stopping people from living their normal lives and being able to work and everything like that. And you know, the forecast for the economy and what that's going to do, as you say, with mental health. People are going to be skint. They're going to be in debt. They're going to, and you're going to get people kill themselves because
take their own lives,
they're in so much debt and they can't provide for their families, and
they can't see a way out because nothing's provided for them. And that's the thing, is that from the very beginning, I don't see why someone that can't go and see their grandparent that lives on their own, that the government haven't implemented a safety procedure for them, that they can't see anyone and that's just their tough tits. They have to sit on their own. And a phone call's good enough. It's not. It's really not.
I mean, I struggled. You know, I struggled with my mental health being locked down in that for that period of 4 months. Because I wasn't able to train and didn't have my routine. I'm still missing that now because you can't. I'm working from home. You can't go in the office, and you don't miss. And I'm not of that disposition, really. I mean, I had anxiety disorder in my early 20s. I'm 34 now. I haven't had any issues for many years, but I suffered. And people of that disposition, I feel sorry for them. People are prone to being depressed, and they're being locked down. To me, you know, it seems like they have been forgotten in a way, because these people, you know, they need socializing. They need to be to go outside and be able to alleviate their mood. It's part of a big part of their life to be able to do that. And when you lock down, and especially people on their own, they're going to suffer.
I didn't think it was a big deal for children. I thought children would take it in our strides. And as you know, I've got a 6-year-old daughter who sat on the bed and cried her eyes out and said, when's it going to go back to normal? And I didn't even process that it would hit her that hard.
And with kids, it sort of has this instilled sort of mood in them, because if they're getting anxious at a young age, it can come back tenfold later on in life. In so many other things, exactly. And that hasn't been taken into the equation. No, it's very, very true. But again, an immune system thing. It's like, we're going to shut down gyms. I spoke to Eddie Abu yesterday, IFBB pro bodybuilder, who runs his own gym over in Hemel Hempstead. And show's coming out soon, by the way. I thought I'd drop that one in. But he, you know, he helps so many people with his gym. He's such a sort of family orientated place. There's people that go in there and they socialise, they're training, and the mental health alleviation you get from training or going outside and socialising, in your subconscious you don't realise, but how it alleviates that. And that's being taken out the equation. And also, they're not concentrating on, okay, we're going to have this for a long time. Start eating well. Start eating stuff that's going to boost your immune system. Start going walks, runs. Start trying to help yourself fight this virus, because the thing is going to fight this virus is your immune system. And there's been nothing to say. I mean, you've even got the Prime Minister who went into hospital with COVID-19 and nearly went on life support because he said he was overweight, and now he's lost 2 stone. He's lost 2 stone, Boris Johnson. So where's the adverts saying to people, look, if you're obese and you're living an unhealthy lifestyle, you need to try and lose some weight. You need to try and help yourself, because that is going to battle it. And I'd understand if they're locking everyone down and they're doing this and doing that, but at the same time, and I think that it needs to be equally addressed, that they need to say, exercise, eat well, do this, do that, in order to help yourself, because it's going to come to a point where we're going to have to go outside and fight it. And I don't think we're going to get on top of it. It might have to be a herd immunity thing. I don't know, because you're getting contrasting things. It's so inconsistent.
People are losing faith in the virus itself. You're getting thousands of people marching through London saying that we don't think it's real. This is
you're going to get conspiracy theories.
Of course you are, but I don't think it's just about conspiracy theories. I think people are losing faith in government. So, for example, when you watch television and you hear him say, right, we're going to follow the science, but we're shutting pubs an hour earlier. What difference is that making? Because everyone's just congregating outside. There was people playing cricket in the middle of Soho the other day.
Honestly, it does my fucking head in. I do not understand how locking the pubs up at 10 o'clock, right, is going to affect anything. We record in Soho, over at Soho Studios for our show, and we speak to the landlords in the pubs. They're getting people that come in extra early and just drinking earlier.
Makes no sense.
And then, people are going to counteract it. They're going to try and get round it. And that's what they're doing. It's not making a difference.
Yeah.
And then if you look at the statistics for hospitality, it's not even spreading through hospitality.
No.
It's spreading in schools.
Yeah.
And I understand education is vital, but everyone's got a fucking job. But these people in pubs, and what about the arts?
Yeah. Which has suffered.
People, the actors and artists and creatives, people that are creative, they're talented people
that are being told to retrain as something else.
And you're telling them to fucking retrain. It's an insult. And that really wound me up because creatives are the ones that are the sort of pinnacle society. They're the people that are creating. These are artistic people, and they need to be cherished. Not telling them to reskill, have trained their whole life. That's incredibly insulting, and I don't care what this virus does. Obviously I care about if it's killing loads of people. Obviously I care about that, but I don't mean in the severity of the virus. They can't be telling people to do that. They can't. And it just goes to show what their intentions are and how what they foresee for the industry. Because they must think it's going to be fucked.
People are thinking now the decisions that are being made is a joke, and people are losing faith in any rules and any government official point making or rules that they're setting out. People aren't buying it anymore, and people are just going, "That's ridiculous." Oh look, there's another ridiculous statement. Oh look, there's another ridiculous rule we've got to follow. And if it keeps heading to that pattern, people are just going to go, bollocks, I do what I like.
Yeah,
I do what I like.
I think if people have not seen. They've not seen any COVID deaths themselves, and they're not surrounded with it, or they don't have seen anything around them, they're automatically going to think, well, I haven't seen anything.
Exactly.
I'm not gonna...
So it can't be real.
The virus is real. Come on, it is real, and it does kill people with immune issues and immune deficiencies and things like that. And I've got a mate who his girlfriend, bless her, she's not been able to see her mum and dad. Who live in Wales, and because of this virus, and it is kicked off again, and they're about to go back up to Wales, and then Wales went in lockdown, and she's not been able to see her mum and dad because obviously their age and your dad's autoimmune issues, and people like that, your heart pours for them because it's terrible.
There's people that haven't been able to get cancer treatments.
Yeah.
That have got that because of the break in it have grown and left too long, and now they've gone from treatable to terminal.
Yeah,
it's terrible.
Yeah,
terrible situation. But I can't see any way out of it. The only thing I can see is all of us rebelling against it. Let's face it, if you're looking at anyone over 80 that's looking forward to spending time with their family over Christmas because they don't see anyone for the other 11 months, they're just going to go, I'm 85.
It's fucking...
If I get it...
Fucking revolution.
You will. You definitely... Look, there's no faith... There's no faith in the government anymore. You're not going to see a conservative government after this. You're not. You're not.
I think they... Yes, true, you're not. I agree with that. And Keir Starmer is he's switched on as well. He's got a bit about him.
But Jeremy
Corbyn, there was elements I did like about him.
But
he was an activist. He was too far left, and that was never going to forward like the Stonewall Northern Labour voters.
But when this happens, all Keir Starmer has to do is sit back.
And now
just watch them do it.
And now it's being politicised because they've had a virologist, an epidemiologist say, "Oh, you should have had the cut off.
Yeah,
you should have cut off for 2 weeks." And now it's being politicised, and now Labour are coming through and saying, "Oh, we should lock everyone down for 2 weeks."
The circuit break.
Yeah, circuit break. Lock everyone down for 2 weeks, and then go back again. And the Tories haven't gone for that, so now it's being politicised, and now you've got all that into the equation. You've got the sensationalism in the media, who absolutely are the dregs. Our media, right, are the dregs of society. They really are. They are the dirt, and the people that are printing that sensationalist crap, trying to scare people, and it's working, because I tell you what, there's some people, right, who are so scared they're not even leaving their house. They haven't even got immune issues. They're not even leaving their house, and they don't realise what damage they are doing to people. And our media seem to be the worst at it. And it's even with our footballers and everything like that. Anything happens to them, no, let's not back them. Let's not get behind them.
No.
Or the fact is they might have been innocent. Okay, they're guilty. Yeah, you've got to print that. I understand. But everything is so clickbait now, because no one's fucking buying newspapers. Everyone goes on the internet. You see something on Facebook. It's so dramatised. It's an order for you to click it.
Fear sells, doesn't it?
Fear sells. It's just like this human... negativity we're drawn to, this negative thinking, And that's why they sensationalise it and they say, oh, you know, Harry Maguire, you know, what he done out in Cyprus and things like that. But do we consider the fact is that he actually might have, because he's a professional footballer, someone in Cyprus had gone up to him and tried to flirt with his sister or something, and he's got pissed off and he's got in a row with someone. What? Instead, we're on him. We're trying to, you know, do him over. Oh, he's a footballer. He's this, that, and the other. Yeah, he may have done wrong, but he may not have. No. And it's just like, oh, he's guilty straight away. He's guilty, and
but we are swayed. They do sway our opinion.
Yeah, it does. Subconsciously, it does, and that's why initially when COVID first come in, you had them putting these implementations of lockdown. And people going into lockdown, when it first started off, or you can't do that, you can't do this. People need to snitch on each other. You snitch on your neighbours. And now they're saying hate crime's gone up 100% or 50% since the lockdowns began, because people are grassing on everyone. You know, you've got the young against the old. You've got, you know... it seems like with the races as well now, because of obviously what's going on. It says that everything's a divide, nothing's unit. And it's the way this infrastructure is created. It's created us. It's divide and conquer.
It's to break down a unit.
It's to break down. It wants us to fight.
Yeah.
This whole the way the infrastructure is set up is for us to fight. Everyone to fight. Everyone to turn on their own. You know, turn on each other.
Because it keeps them in work.
Yeah.
Keeps politicians
it's a divide and conquer situation. And
Definitely.
You know.
They've basically turned around and said, for a person that you've known for 30 years, that you borrow your lawnmower from them, ask to borrow a lawnmower, look after your house while you're on holiday for 2 weeks, and they go, yeah, fine. But if they get people round, ring us and we'll get them fined. Keith's
got someone round there.
Yeah.
Quick, call the old Bill.
Exactly. And then that's it. That's your, can you look after my house? Yeah, of course I will. Yeah, I remember that phone call. And then you get back and your house has been gutted.
What was the one when they were doing the clapping, the NHS clapping?
Yeah, where's that gone?
And people weren't clapping, and they were grassing them up on social media. Oh, Audrey.
Shaming them.
Audrey next door hasn't clapped. Perhaps you don't want to fucking clap.
Yeah,
so what?
Yeah, exactly.
So fucking what?
Yeah, you don't have to be seen to appreciate just to get vilification from others. And it's the media, I've always said it, media is there to make you react, not to make you think. When you watch the news, when you see, there's a reason that they put, oh look, we've seen more immigrants coming over on a floating door or in a boat, and then you go, you don't think about it because you're only getting it one way.
100%. Okay, so the immigrants, brilliant subject, right? We'll bring up the immigration. Oh, it's the foreigners. They're fucking foreigners. They're coming in. They're doing this. They're doing this. It's the foreigners. It's the foreigners. Yeah. Okay, well, who are the people that you're voting for? Who are the governments that went into the Middle East and fucking bombed the shit out of it?
That's right, yeah.
And fucked the whole infrastructure up.
That's what Brexit was all about.
And doing all that. Why aren't we thinking? Why is it all reactive? Why are we thinking in that moment it's them? Who are the people making the decisions? Who are the legislators? Who are the ones? These are the ones we need to unite and say, well, hold on, you're doing this. Yeah. Why are you going into the Middle East? Why did you go into Iraq and kill innocent people? Why have we been going into the Middle East for donkey's years? It's not because of the sources that they have and oil-rich countries, is it?
Heroin and poppy seed farms and stuff. But again, it's that you watch. Again, I think people's faith in media has collapsed in a way that you can watch the BBC News and they're saying, oh look, more immigrants on a boat, this and this is happening.
It's designed, isn't it?
And then you go,
designed.
of course it is. And then you sit back and then people go, oh, that Shamina Begum has to come over to the country to appeal her ban to come back into the country to be an Englishwoman again. And you're like, yeah, I can understand, but you're watching the same news channel that housed the known paedophile Jimmy Savile and kept it secret for 40 years.
Yeah.
That cost us billions in keeping him in television shows, and yet
everyone knew,
and everybody knew about it. Where's our marches against them bastards that are housing paedophiles, famous paedophiles that have done atrocious things for 50 years? Where's our marches against them? But it's not. It's that, we're the BBC.
upper echelons don't matter. They can get away with it.
And the BBC go, you need to know about Shamina Begum. That'll really piss you off. And then you go, yeah, all right, yeah, it does. But hold on a minute. What you've been doing in the past 50 years? Where's our marches against you fucking corrupt bunch?
Some people matter, some people don't, don't they? And that seems like it's, well, if you only have to look at our politicians and what they've done over it.
The immigration is the trigger word. And everyone goes, what? I voted for Brexit. That's what I voted for. That's what I voted for.
What did I say that it really infuriated me? And it's about the Muslims in China that are being detained, and and the Communist Party in China basically detaining Muslims because the fact is they're Muslims, putting in re-education centres, and now it's being publicised that they're killing them.
They're basically internment camps, aren't they?
Yeah,
really,
and it seems like because you see on social media, and because it's the word Muslim, and then some of these people are triggered. Oh, it's Muslim. Yeah. Oh, you need to concentrate on what we're doing in England. Right, we won't concentrate on anything else is going on around us. They're killing innocent people for the sake of just because of what they because of their religion. And communist China, we only have to go through in history. As soon as they start going through these processes, how it then becomes external. Yeah, do you know what I mean? And it just seems like the way it's designed, everything in the media is created for people to hate everyone. Of course. And what I do is I'll watch it and get angry. No, I don't. I just try and take a step back.
You have to.
Yeah, and try and assess everything and look into it.
Because it's there to get you to react, not to think about it.
Yeah.
It's like the news can come on today and it'll go, tune in at 10 o'clock and we'll tell you what shampoos will kill you. And you go, yeah, that's stupid. Or is it? I'll find out just in case, and I'll take from it what I can. But 9 times out of 10, you watch it and go, yeah, that's bang out of order. I'll put that in. And then you just go and punt somebody else.
I think in particular to modern society now, and obviously with social media, you do get a hell of a lot of bollocks that comes through, and a lot of, some of the Facebook news stories that you see are just such
there's
manufactured crap. But anything you do see in mainstream media or anything you look at, you need to do research into it yourself because there's a narrative there.
Of course.
And it may be a part telling the truth, but there's another story to it that you're not seeing.
There's an underlining.
And our media has a narrative. And whatever that narrative is, they're going to serve that agenda. And whatever that be, they're trying to just drip feed you certain information, which sometimes is not the whole story. Sometimes it is. And I'm not saying the media we don't need them, because obviously we do, because but they need to be regulated in a way that we can't allow them to sensationalize things, to really, especially during COVID. I think that it's not been an evenly published. I think it's just all of this negative, and nothing's positive, and you're just seeing all these. And it's very bad for oneself. It's very bad to your self-esteem. You keep looking at that. You don't realise subconsciously it's having an effect on you. Even though you say it doesn't. Everyone thinks negatively. Everyone has this, but it's hard not to take this in because it's coming from you all angles. It's social media. It's the news.
But now it is also being used as a weapon, as obviously not in the same country, but COVID is now being used as a weapon in a presidential election. So, which it is, because you can get one person that goes, I had COVID, it's totally gone now, I'm totally cool with it. It was the best COVID I ever had. And then the other bloke is like, I don't like
That's
COVID.
Actually quite good.
I don't like COVID, it's terrible, I'm going to wear a mask. So then you're using one as a weapon and one as a defence to say COVID's bad, and then the other one that goes, I had it, I'm cool.
That speech he done when he come out of the hospital, and he just went, "Oh, I'm going to get this." I'm not going to do the impression because I'm very bad at impressions. But he said, "Oh, I'm going to get this medication. It's fantastic. I've been taking this medication. Everyone in America is going to have it now."
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Because I've had it.
What is going on? Like he's so crazy.
The best thing I took away from that is that when he was doing that speech, he looked like he dipped his hands in flour, and his head in like just red paint. It was amazing.
You can't. It is crazy and very worrying that he's the president of the most powerful country in the world. But
although him dancing to YMCA,
you can't. Incredible. And then he has this thing where and they're blatantly not. Everyone's looking at him. He goes,
"Yeah, exactly. Yeah."
He's such an ego-driven man.
But going back to having it used as a weapon, he's using that as a political. Point of absolutely. To
That's
say,
Trump all over.
I had it, it's gone.
That's Trump all over.
But again, it will divide a country into two to say, I either am scared of it or I'm not scared of it, because Trump's not scared of it, I'm not. And then Biden goes, I'm scared of it, you should be scared of it.
And also, I mean, from an English standpoint, because obviously we're both from London, I don't think one's good, better than the other in that race. I think they're both equally inept. I don't think the other chap, Biden, I mean, if the Democrats in America, and I'm only looking at it, and any Americans watching, they'll tell me straight away, mind your business, and I'd understand that because it's nothing to do with me. But it seems like if you're going to have someone that goes against Trump, why are you going to pick someone that's basically an old age pensioner? Why aren't you going to pick someone that's charismatic, someone that appeals to the public, someone new, someone fresh?
Yeah.
Why are you going to fight fire with fire?
Yeah.
Trump, the worst person they could have got is Biden.
Joe Biden.
And if you look at Joe Biden's history in the Senate and how he's infiltrated in it, it's something going on in the background there for him to get it.
100%.
Because the Republicans have made a huge error. And even though the media in America now are saying that Trump is very much behind, I'm not sure about that.
No, I don't.
Do you think he'll win?
I think you'll see another 4. Because as much as I don't like Trump as a person, there are many people, Americans I'm sure, that will go, take all that aside and let's add up the good stuff he's done since he's been a president. Where Biden looks, and I've got, again, it's not on what they've achieved politically. It's just done on the person. Biden looks like he constantly needs someone to rub his back and go, of course you'll be president, Joe. Of course you will, mate. Yeah, it's your medicine.
He keeps forgetting stuff as well, doesn't
he? Does, yeah.
He's just a nightmare.
Yeah,
it's a car crash.
He is too old.
And the debate they had was probably, I see highlights of it. And I actually couldn't come to terms with what some of the stuff was saying. I mean, Trump brought up Biden's son doing cocaine.
Yeah, that's...
can you imagine if that happened in England? And they said that, and Boris Johnson, your son's doing coke or something like that.
Yeah.
You imagine people be going fucking mad.
It would become a media circus.
It is. It is a media circus, isn't it?
It would be. You get people. We've all seen it. You get the opposition holding up pictures of Boris Johnson in his Quidditch gear when he used to be at school, looking like he's come out of Hogwarts, and going, "Look, that's the person that's going to run your country." And then we all go, "Yeah, he does look like he needs a broom."
They've got like memes of him, like with his messed up like cycling hat and everything like that. Again, he's comical as well, isn't he, Boris?
He's a person you want to see on I'm a Celebrity, not running a country. And we've moved on from this.
I'll tell you what I do like about Boris, right? Is he bigs up England, and I think things with politics in the past is we haven't had someone to say, do you know what, we're the UK, we're the United Kingdom, we're bloody great, we're going to do all right, we're good, and even if it's just words, I find, you know what, yes, we are going to be all right, and we are fine, and we are a great country, and I just thought, yeah, you know what. That's great for him saying that, and it's all his bashing of the UK and our past and everything like that. Then that's in the past, unfortunately, and everyone has bad. But we are a great country now. We've got great infrastructure, engineering is fan. Well, I don't know about now, but aerospace. We have the top minds in the world. And it's something to be celebrated, and that's why I like. But I don't want to bash him for that because he does big up in England, and as it stands now, even though we've been sort of mugging him for the last.
Not at all.
I mean, from my personal standpoint, if it was between, although Keir Starmer is he's a shrewd operator, so he's very intelligent.
He can't lose at the moment.
No, I think
he's just got to sit back and watch.
I think you're right. I think there's no exactly. He'll politicise it, and.
But you're right. Boris does big us up. But then when he says, right, you know what? I'm not following any science for it, but you're going to have an hour less drinking for no reason at all. And then everyone goes, but you'd said good stuff.
It's the advice he's getting, though, isn't it? Obviously, he's not.
But based on no scientific fact or anything.
Well, there must be some advice that they're getting to say, we need to try this, we need to try that. Because it's. I mean,
But then explain it. Explain it why we're cutting it down an hour.
And then you look at this hospitality. It doesn't spread in hospitality, as we said.
Exactly.
But
I don't know. It's the same as like you do. Once since all this has started, it's like the cinema's a shame, which is a terrible shame because the cinema experience is something that everyone should have, and you always remember as a child. But when you got cinemas closing down because there's no movies being made, then show old ones for half the price, you greedy bastards.
Yeah.
Don't charge 18 quid to go and see Terminator, but have Terminator on there or something that you didn't see that you like, that you couldn't see when you was a child, and put original Star Wars up. Put, films that you can see in the cinema and charge half the price. And then the same with actors. If I want to pay 20 quid, I want Idris Elba reenacting Luther episodes in my front room. Why is that out of order? No, but what I'm saying is, a cinema, why not show an old film, cut your prices in half, don't charge £6 for a pack of wine gums, and let people go and see films that they couldn't for £5.
I like going to the cinemas because I do like the fizzy sweet, even though they are extortionate.
Yeah,
I like getting the fizzies.
You shouldn't be able to eat in the cinema. Full stop. 100% no.
Yeah,
100%.
What?
You shouldn't be able to eat in the cinema. There's no way in a million years you should be able to eat at cinemas. 100% no.
What?
If I want to watch a documentary, Schindler's List, for example, do you want to watch Schindler's List and have a guy sitting next to you eating a hot dog or some bag of Doritos? When you're watching a film about the Holocaust, you don't.
Yeah, but that's...
it's incredibly offensive.
No, that makes no sense. I mean, I like to partake in popcorn and...
you're disgusting.
Fizzy sweets.
You're a disgusting human being.
I don't want to... I'd rather eat that than actually watch the film. But yeah, cinemas are on their way out, aren't they? It's another industry that's suffering immensely. And yeah, I don't understand why they don't show like half cut. It's a good point.
Greed. It's greed.
Well, I don't think it's that. I just think it's the situation they're in, because 9 times out of 10 people are scared they're not going to go to cinemas anyway, and number 2, they're not going to go and watch a film that they've already seen.
I agree.
To the cinema, so that may be taken into the equation.
So let me battle this. Let me give you this. We're allowed 6. Yeah, you're allowed 6.
Yep.
You take a cinema venue, and you do a 6 party. So 6 you allowed.
You heard it here first, by the way.
Into one screen.
Yeah.
6 of your friends, however much
Yeah.
each it would cost you. It'd be 100 quid, let's say. And 6 of you have that whole theatre to yourself, and you can watch the new Bond film. You have your own seats. You can sit where you like. You can eat what you like. You haven't got to worry about interrupting anyone else with your noisy eating or your lips smacking. 6 of you in a cinema, and you can watch a film. The perfect cinema experience. If it's 150 quid between the 6 of you, you get a whole screen to yourself. That's better than no one going.
What's this, like an outdoor thing?
Why don't you do it indoors? The 6 of you, you're allowed 6.
Yeah.
So 6 of you get a whole cinema screen to yourself for an hour and a half. 6 people after you come in. Why can't you do that?
How are they going to make money?
Well, it's them better than the making.
That's all right.
They're shutting down.
You got 70 quid make. Yeah, but you know, you got rent. You got all the stuff they've already got to pay to make a profit.
Yeah,
you
but
you can't pay for a whole cinema. How much rent do you think Cineworld are paying for that? It'd be thousands and thousands just for a cinema itself. And you can't let 6 people in. They need to make sure that they're fully.
I agree.
Booked to make money.
But I'll tell you how many people are going at the moment. 0.
Yeah, but that's where they're going to be getting furloughed or getting some sort of stimulus from the government, aren't they?
I don't think you'll see cinemas again.
It's a shame.
I don't think
it really is. I love
again.
cinemas. I love going to the cinema.
I don't think
even though some of the new films that come out are shit. The Joker was amazing.
Yeah, Phantom of the Opera's gone.
Yeah,
that was the longest running show in London.
They're gone.
It's such a shame.
I don't know where. I'm really, really concerned about the arts industry. I'm so, and anybody that knows London or knows the West End is so electric, and that the source of that is from the theatres. People go to the theatres on Shaftesbury and in the West End, and they go for something to eat. Then they go to the for a drink after. They take their family, they take their girlfriends, they take their kids.
Yeah.
It's just a fantastic experience. It's one of the best parts of London is going to the theatre, and that being taken away, it really hurts me, because London is in my heart. Obviously, that's where I was born, and obviously us being in Soho and West End, hell of a lot. It just feels like a little bit of heart has been taken out of it.
Right. And I tell you this, the only saving grace is the only thing that won't leave your side, and the only thing that will still be there for you no matter what, whether you're in lockdown or when you're in tier 3 or tier 2 or whatever thing one form of media will always be there to help you, and that's porn. Porn will always be
this
there.
This is a subject we were going to talk about, and you've nicely moved it away from COVID onto porn. Go on.
But you have... It's an amazing day where, when if you used to go back, you're 30, let's say your early 30s. Just
I am early. I'm 34.
So old.
30.
So old. 32 I am. So if you go back 15 years ago, no, because that wouldn't be applicable to you. Let's say I was 11 years old, right, which is a long time ago. My experience with porn then was walking past a bush in a park and going, oh my God, there's a old ratty magazine.
Yeah.
Look at that. That's amazing.
Are you talking? Yeah. So
now
like
I can pick up a phone.
Yeah.
And then go, I'll call grandma. Hold on a minute. I'll call her in about 20 minutes because I can just access porn by my phone. So, not that I'm not connecting the two.
You're just trying to describe your own experiences.
I'm not
basically.
connecting the two.
You look at granny porn, basically, is what you're trying.
For obviously this purpose, to talk about it, it's just research. It's just research.
10 years research.
It's 10 years.
Until this moment.
15. I've basically watched Enid get older. So she was walking when I first watched her. She's not as...
Porn... We pick up on the mental health issue, and with social media, I've said it in previous podcasts that I've had, pretty much all of the ones we've done, other than Dave Courtney, with Brandon, with Gail, the one I done with Eddie yesterday, and the mental health aspect of social media and how that affects people and the perfectionism thing. Porn is another thing, and that is becoming an addiction for people. Everyone watches porn, and it's so easily accessible. You start to, and you look into the literature that's been studied from the psychological aspect, and it's showing that young males now are starting to see this, think that this sort of hardcore pornography that they're looking at every day is the normality, and trying to take that out onto their girlfriends or people that they meet, and then that happens and they're like, what the fuck, this is normal, which it isn't normal. It's again a trigger in the brain, isn't it, from watching porn constantly. It's this whole electronic format, isn't it? It's sort of like everything's just lighting us up constantly, and porn is another one, isn't it?
Yeah,
part of it. And when we were younger, when I was younger, it wasn't accessible, was it? We didn't have, I mean, when I was, I think really started to come into play when I was in my early 20s, I think, mid-20s, and that's when everything really started to kick off with social media and porn. Everything was so easily accessible. I think when it first started out, there was subscription, and now you've got bloody OnlyFans. Do you know what OnlyFans is?
No.
OnlyFans is like these not actresses or anything like that, but they're Instagrammers, influencers, and basically these girls that go on social media think they've got a following, but basically they just want to, it's just geezers looking at them because they're naked, and they open their own OnlyFans, and basically what it is they say, oh, you pay a subscription and I'll get my kit off, and you can watch me and pay £5 an hour for it, or we can do a 1-to-1.
Just a £5?
No. Well, if you click Joseph Barnett 1, which is my OnlyFans, which I do,
you'll see me with my kit off.
Yeah, you'll see Moose with his kit off. It's not me. You see Moose and Enid.
I'll be wheeling her around when they're about.
But yeah, this is another thing, OnlyFans, and
I didn't know
it's
that.
just given another avenue for these dog shit people on social media, men and women, that go on there and take their kit off and say subscribe to my OnlyFans, right. And then obviously you've got the same old people that go onto it, the same olds that comment on every conceivable bird's Instagram.
But then if you're not an actress or and you're not involved in that industry, isn't that just a form of prostitution, which would be illegal? So a porn star could do it because that's their profession. So if a new influencer done it and went, if you pay me a £5, I'll let you into a special group chat.
I think it is a form of prostitution. I agree. It's just this. And now we're in this, and everyone's got an OnlyFans. Like, not everyone, but anyone on Instagram that has a big following, and they get scantily clad. Yeah, scantily clad. They get naked. Granddad. Sorry. Yeah, I was trying to pick my words there. Come a little unstuck. But they get naked, and now they have a subscription to OnlyFans.
I didn't know that. That's mental.
I mean, I've only got 4 or 5 subscriptions. It cost me a bloody fortune.
Oh, it's cold, isn't it?
Brilliant excuse. But yeah, porn is a huge problem, isn't
it? It is, but you don't see it evolve into the negative sides of it, of where you could find a porn mag in the bush or watch porn 20 years ago, and it would be, you used to get Reader's Wives magazines where you just put the old black bar over the old housewife's eyes, and she'd be like, oh, look at Doreen, she's riding
like, got her socks up showing her shins.
Exactly.
And like, oh, bloody hell.
Butter in bread, or putting peanut butter on a cracker in a really sexy way in a dingy old kitchen that needs very much decorating. But now it's like, it has evolved to, oh, look, we can look at 3 Chinese girls that are clearly under 20 vomiting in the same cup. Yeah, and that's like, oh, has anyone seen that? But
it's so extreme.
Of course, but your reaction to that should be, no, I don't want to see that.
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
It's an evolution of things, isn't it? It's how you start to look at something that becomes normal, and then you start to go for the next thing.
Yeah.
Then you go to the next thing, and the next thing, and it gets more extreme. And the internet, you're going to find it.
Of course.
You can find anything.
And
on
that's
the
the thing,
internet.
isn't it? If you say, I want to search for this, oh, that stuff doesn't exist. That's going to be my new thing. I'm going to make that happen. And then people are going to watch it, because I can't be the only one that likes it. But
Can there be a new thing on the internet? Everything that's been done on there. I can't imagine that there's anything sort of unique to be, especially in that industry. I just think that there's so much.
I'd like to have a conversation with someone in that industry to how can someone of a normal mental capacity watch a video of a woman kicking him in the nuts with a high heel shoe on and then go, whoa.
Have you seen them videos?
Yeah.
They are hilarious. They're hilarious. They go, literally, she's full pelt kicking him in the nuts, and he's like, But
who's watching that unless you're a little bit touched? And that is just watching someone being beaten up, violently.
I mean, from a comedy's perspective, we look at it and laugh.
It's brilliant.
But some people are getting turned on by that, which is worrying.
So how do they, if they're not watching that, get their fix?
Can you imagine
violence
that?
Is the
They go for like on their first Tinder date or free. He said, like, "What are you into?" He just went, "I've got to be on it. I like getting kicked full pelt in the nuts."
Yeah. What are you like at taking a penalty, love? I've never. I've played a little bit of football in the day. Perfect.
Well, so, of course, size 10 feet. Yeah. Lovely. Whoa.
Can I just see you jump up and down a little bit on these ping pong balls?
Can you do kick ups? Kick this ball out.
What you like, swinging hammer?
He's unbelievable. What was the other one I've seen? Someone's stuck their balls like through a table, and like someone's just using it as like one of them punch bag things. They go like that. It's obviously a joke. Of
course.
But I just find that stuff hilarious. And they always get shared to you on your WhatsApp, don't it, with in mates groups and things.
But then when you look at it from another point of view, you think that man looking at a man getting his nuts jumped on by an attractive woman, and you go, okay, but if that wasn't there, how's he getting them kicks? If that's not available for you to watch, who's he going to? Is that then a mental thing of where you go, that's not
we
normal.
had a discussion, didn't we, on the way up here? I think the next guest, we'll get a guest, is in pornography.
I'd like to see an adult film done to
I
talk
think
to
it'd
that
be very
person
interesting. It'd be very interesting. I think from a mental standpoint as well, to understand what they have to go through and everything like that, and I don't think we could look at it from a comedic point of view, but it'd be hard. But there's certainly a thing to it. I think that'd be a great guest to understand that industry.
Here's the thing I want to run by you.
Go for it.
That in 2015 there was a doctor that found that during a certain time of the year, back in 2015, a lot of people between 18 and 25 were coming to him with erectile dysfunction, which the doctor then said that's not normal for that sort of age, for people to be affected by it. So he went to a university in Massachusetts to conduct an experiment about pornography after asking them about masturbation habits and what they watch porn and stuff. And after examining them, he found they were healthy, no physical explanation for their erectile dysfunction. These men, in fact, were particularly fit individuals. But on further assessment and a questionnaire, found out that they were addicted to porn. Right. That they said that we are addicted to porn. We look at it every day. We do this
because they can't get turned on by normal porn anymore.
Absolutely.
Normal interactions with in retrospect, you'd say that if you're going to meet someone, you're going out, it's going to be, if they're into extreme porn, they're not going to have their they're not going to have their sexual desires satisfied.
Absolutely.
Because they're in terms, it's going to be soft for them, isn't it?
Yeah. So the neuroscience of internet pornography was then looked into a bit more, and what they found was that the the way the brain acts in without porn. So they were shown porn and then taken away, and their brain activity was exactly the same of someone not having a cigarette, not having drugs, alcohol, cocaine, or nicotine. So the brain pattern showed exactly the same as it would if you were coming off something,
like
and
the
not
addiction.
drinking. So that addiction is there.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt. That's
now,
interesting. Yeah.
I'm going to give you the questionnaire that they were given to see if you're addicted to porn. So,
okay,
here we go.
Fucking hell.
They're not too intrusive. They're not too intrusive.
Go on then.
Right. Have you ever believed at one point that you thought you was addicted to watching pornography, not videos, but on your phone?
No.
Okay. Could you feel that you'd be able to stop the use of online pornography at any time?
Yes.
Okay. Do you ever arrange your schedule around watching porn?
Hell no.
Have you ever
schedule around watching porn? Serious?
Have you ever refused to go out with friends or attend certain social functions to have the opportunity to view pornography?
No. Bollocks. Keep looking at the camera.
Do you ever feel ashamed after watching pornography online?
I have done, yeah. I have done.
Do you ever feel depressed?
No.
Do you ever feel sick?
No.
Okay. Let's just tally up then. Yeah, so COVID. COVID is...
I think we're looking at pornography. I think it's one of them things that everyone does, and anyone that says that they're not doing it, they're fucking lying. And I have looked at it in the past and just thought, do you know what? Why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? And I think with the good point you make with the addiction perspective, I think that it is and it can be very addictive, and the way that the neurons and the way it what's the word? It basically it achieves your desires. That's what you want, and it feeds an addiction, and that's what it's getting. It's more and more severe, and how that can affect your actual modern interactions with your girlfriend or partner or everything, or boyfriend or wherever it may be. And yeah, that is really interesting how it can affect that.
But it's what you said earlier. If you can watch anything you want, and then say, for example, you've got a loving wife or a partner that you have a normal sex life with, but then you watch a video and then you go, oh, I'm really into that now. That's got, I don't know, something completely horrific in it. How can then you go back to having normal sex and then enjoying it and going, but on my pad there, I can watch loads of stuff. So I think it will create a set. I also think that it probably helps push you into a mindset that could make you hurt somebody. Because there are a lot of let me explain. There is a reason why there are some people. Louis Theroux done a documentary on it of where there were porn people making like rape fantasy porn things. Now the only person that would watch that is for someone that either wants to inflict it or that's interested in them sexually, which again is a mental issue on its own. But if that wasn't there, what would they be doing? Yeah,
but I think what goes on in your mind is it goes on your mind from that standpoint, and if someone was into that, doesn't mean that they're going to.
No, I agree.
Doesn't mean they're going to execute.
There's fantasy there.
There's fantasies. Just because you watch that type of thing doesn't make you it. I think. I mean, I think if that's your thing and that's your fetish, I would say it's not normal. I would say that's worrying. It doesn't make you say that you're going to go and
I agree.
Commit.
Small percentage?
But I'd say a very small percentage. I don't know the figures on that. But yeah, I mean, someone that was going to actually do it, I would assume that they do watch that sort of thing. Because apparently even like you can get that sort of thing, like even real crimes and stuff, sex crimes.
Yes.
And the dark web is a complete sort of mess of it's full of it now, but the dark web apparently, and that's where all these paedophiles go, isn't it? And they
that's another brilliant point. Now because of porn on a phone, do you think that porn paedophilia and online paedophilia has got worse now? You can do it on. I don't
know the stats. We'd have to get someone in.
You notice it more, don't you now? Whereas as I was a kid, paedophile wasn't a name that I ever heard.
Yeah, it's true. I could give you my 2 cents on it, but it wouldn't be anything.
No, I know,
anything worth it. I'd have to look at the stats and the figures of it. But it seems like it is more prominent now. But maybe it's just because our criminal system is so good that it picks these people up, whereas before it wasn't.
It wasn't,
and it could be that situation. And I just think, and obviously you've got everything that's online now, where everything's watched.
Yeah.
And that's why they go on the dark web, isn't it? Because it's you can't be watched on the dark web. And they have all these procedures that they do. But yeah, it's grim. Bloody grim. But let's change it.
Yeah.
Let's change it. What are your thoughts? Okay, I'll give you a good question. Right.
Go on.
We used to do a conspiracy podcast.
We did.
Yeah, on conspiracy theories. I was called Conspiracy Joe. I used to present a show on Surrey Radio in London. I have very, very few conspiracy theories that I genuinely believe, even though I've done many, many shows on different ones. What is the standout one for you? Conspiracy theory, yeah? What is the standout one for you that you believe is definitely true? I can start. Do you want me to start?
Go on.
JFK.
Yeah.
I think that Lee Harvey Oswald was a patsy.
Mm-hmm.
I think he did do it, but it was done by the mafia, and they were involved in killing him, killing Kennedy. It certainly wasn't him on his own. That is, and the Warren, not the Warren Commission. There was a different commission that came out in 1972 that said it was he did have in fact a someone with him to commit the crimes, but obviously he was never found.
No, but it's strange, isn't it, that's still classed as a conspiracy theory? Isn't there papers out now that have been released? Oh no, some were held back, weren't they? Because Trump released a lot of the paperwork, and
yeah, he did, but
it wasn't all of it.
No, it didn't give an indication to what it was. But I mean, the Kennedys themselves. I mean, you've got his brother that was. I think he was defense minister at the time. I may be wrong. He was one of the ministers for, I'd say ministers, or whatever they call them in America. Under the Kennedy era, and then he went to run for senator, I believe, and he was killed.
They've not had a good run, the Kennedys.
And then another one was killed on a boat, was it?
Yeah. One, I think, drove off the edge of a cliff in a car going around a mountain on a steep. They've not had a good run. But one of the Kennedys did marry Arnie, so no, that didn't work out either, did it?
No.
Although I'm sure it did for her.
Did he cheat on her?
He slept with the housekeeper, didn't he?
Yeah.
And then he was like, that baby's not mine. It's got a massive gap in its teeth. And goes, no, a lot. Whoa. Oh, the baby's crying. Whoa.
Yeah, it literally looks like Arnie so much.
Yeah, it does. It's just him with short hair.
I love the way he just said, it's not mine.
No way.
Because he has these like very clear defined features, doesn't he? Yeah. That can be easily spotted. But go on, conspiracy then.
That's really tough because it's very hard to pick a conspiracy theory now that doesn't anger the other side, that doesn't believe in that would also take. Say for example, you've got those people that go in London and go, we don't believe that COVID's real, we're going to come out and do what we like. And then everyone that does think it's real goes, oh, you bunch of bloody idiots. You absolute twats. But everyone's entitled to their opinion. But that's free speech, I suppose. Everyone's entitled to go on a march for whatever they want.
I think a lot of conspiracies are, in fact, bullshit. There's no doubt, and they're an excuse. But there are a few, and unfortunately, the ones that believe in all this, the COVID's fake and the 5G shit.
That 5G stuff, I forgot about that.
Get tarred at the same brush as someone to say that, if I said, John F. Kennedy was, in fact, there was someone else involved in it and there was conspiracy involved, you would get drawn into the same sort of,
I suppose,
group as what they are.
I mean, every conspiracy theory of any worth comes out of only one country anyway. So I'd probably say the only one that I would say has got any body of volume to it, conspiracy-wise, would probably be 9/11.
Yeah, I mean, I've done a hell of a lot of research into that. We've done a show, and there's certainly conspiracy involved, whether it's like the what people say, but there's certainly elements to it, and what the conclusion was, and what that was, and what they said caused the collapse of the building. Certainly, there was misdemeanors involved there. That what didn't happen the way it said it happened, because they didn't even say it was aluminium, was it? The metal aluminium and a lot of the rubble was removed, the trusses that held the building up, and a lot of the stuff that would have been tested was removed illegally from site. And there was a senator, I can't remember his name, and you can Google it, and he said that the rubble that's being removed from this site is a disgrace. But it's a very tricky subject, because it's one of them things. Obviously, it was such a horrendous terrorist attack, and it killed thousands of people. And you got to be very careful with it, because you don't want to get in that situation where you start saying, "Oh, that didn't happen, this didn't happen," and things like that. And you have to pay respect to them people that have died, and you can't go into it too much. But I mean, there certainly is. After researching, 9/11 is one that is very, very. It opens your eyes to certain things that happen there. But yeah. What you thought on aliens?
Oh, come on! I didn't think you was gonna.
What?
If you believe in aliens or ghosts, then you're going to have to fight me. Because aliens is ridiculous. For anyone that believes in aliens, I've said it before, I've said it to you loads of times, and we've talked about it on our old show, that if aliens are so advanced, why have all their ships got headlights on it so they can see in the dark? It doesn't make any sense why you put lights on a machine when you can go a million light years and a minute. Let's put some headlights on it just so the people down there can have a quick look. Doesn't make any sense. Ghosts exactly the same. Never seen a ghost of a person in a wheelchair. The clothes transfer, but anything else, it's just really silly. I don't buy either of it. It's great for selling books.
Do you believe in energies and stuff?
No.
Oh, I don't know about that.
No, I've never experienced it.
Do you believe that every person has like an energy? Do you think that every person has this like their own sort of energy that they give off to other people in their subconscious, and they don't realise what they're doing it, and that's why it's sort of the positive things happen to them type of people, because you have this sort of energy about you? Do you think that? And some people are drawn into that energy. Do you believe in that? I know that's completely separate.
That's psychological.
Psychological. Can be. I think it can be physical, and there's some sort of energy inside. I believe that actually. But aliens, I think. Well, you class as aliens anything that's out of Earth, alien life, and you look at the infinite.
Alien life would exist, 100%.
Oh, you mean alien life on Earth?
Alien that you can find on another planet and go, oh look, we found these microbes in the waters of Mars, or we've done this. 100%. To believe that there's people out there in ships and infiltrating governments and experimentations and stuff is rubbish. I know why they're popular, because we have always had a fixation of what exists beyond this point. What exists beyond this point? What exists after we die? And that's what it boils down to. We're all scared of dying. There has to be something else.
Yeah.
That's why mediums are so popular. Them rip-off bastards that go around and say, oh yeah, we've got your dead dad here. Oh, we've got your dead mum. That's fucking despicable. Those people should be arrested for preying on people that minds are so shattered through loss.
Derek Acora wasn't real.
Sorry?
Derek Acora.
I tell you what, he may not be able to speak to the dead, but I wouldn't like a drinking contest with him. That's the only thing he probably was good at. But I don't believe anyone should be able to take advantage of someone so mentally broken because they've lost a loved one. So some twat with an earpiece in can be told by someone else in a room backstage that they'd lost their dad in a car crash or something, and they've got them on the phone, but will only be able to speak to you in a riddle because they can't have a normal conversation with you like they have the last 50 years. But he will say, oh, the colour blue's going to be quite good for you in May. The number 4, does that mean anything to you, love? Does the number 4 mean anything to you? It does, actually, yeah. He loved the number 4. He once had a 4th birthday. Oh, good, is he? Yeah, Roger says, check in the second drawer. There might be something in there you like. All right, my love. And you're like, yeah, I got a T-shirt in there he always said he liked. So it's whether you're susceptible or not.
So have a northern accent.
They always do, don't they? Earring.
They
tints,
do. They do.
Tints in the hair. But it's there for a reason, and if it's to make you feel more comfortable and put you at rest, I've got no problem with that. Same as I'm an atheist, but I know the good that religion does to some people, for answers, for just at ease, to put people at ease. I agree with it up to that point.
So so you believe in sort of like the Big Bang Theory?
I believe that the theory of evolution is a theory for a reason, because that missing link is missing. Because if it wasn't missing and it was there, that is the only thing that can oppose religion.
And
that's why it's missing.
So you don't think that there was a creator, or you just think
100% no, 100% no. It's that you either believe that we was all created by God, or you believe that we was all created by something else and we've evolved onto a greater species. Greater species in quotation marks, because I don't think we're very good at being a species.
Well, the physicists say that they can, via these special telescopes, they can look back billions of years and they can actually see the energy from the Big Bang happening.
Yeah, which is, they reckon...
Which is, get your mind around that.
Get you laughing, get you around
Get you laughing, get you around it. 16 billion odd years ago.
Well,
approximately.
They reckon...
but can you imagine like how they can see the energy of these... the energy off the Big Bang still? It's just incredible. Like, and apparently they can.
Yeah, I mean, they say that in the 80s, when you used to have an old 80s television and the channel went off air and you heard the... That's radiation still left over from the Big Bang that the television's picking up through aerials and stuff. And that guy that...
what?
I can't remember his name, but...
I'm calling
What's the guy's name? What's the guy's name? The moon landings were totally real. What's that geezer's name?
Oh.
He looks like he should be out of the Jam.
He was in a band.
The Jam?
He was in a band.
He's got Paul Weller's haircut. I can't remember his name. Brian Cox.
Brian Cox. I love Brian Cox. I like Brian Cox.
Come on, grow up. So he basically said, that is radiation left over from the Big Bang that television picks up and that's expelled through your television. So whether that's real or not, I'm not a big fan of him anyway, because he thinks the moon landing is real. But the
they are. Sorry, what?
No, they're not. So no, I'm only joking. So we've never been back. So what I'm saying is that, going back to my original point, aliens and ghosts is such a settling thing to be able to buy into, to go, do you know what, we're not just worm food. There is something else out there that we can hold on to, go, it's not just the end for us. And that's why it exists, because if someone told you tomorrow, a scientist went, listen, you die, worm food, that's your lot, you'd be like, oh, that's pretty grim, what's the point?
Yeah.
But to have that little bit of, what if you do come back as, I don't know, a roll-on deodorant or a lion? But you know what I mean. The chance that you've got a second go, it's like, oh, I don't mind now. I don't mind because I can come back. And religion does that, and I can understand why it's so popular, because we always want to explore. But when you look at it,
so you think it's, with religion and people going to church and everything like that, offers a alleviation to oneself, basically. Any issues they have in their life, they go to the church, they see the priest or the rabbi or whatever it may be, and they offer the life guidance, they offer things like that, and from that standpoint, religion does have a benefit. But,
and then that's a really nice thing.
Yeah.
And then on the other side, it's pretty much the cause of every single war. In every country in history, and every war that's ever taken place, it's all down to religion. Now, going back to the theory of, if we could prove...
Or salt oil resources.
Yeah, absolutely. But if you was to prove...
Religion, it has.
If you was to prove and find that missing link, that is evidence then to prove that God isn't real, that we wasn't made by God. And that's why I think it is a missing link. Because it's missing, so you can't fight. The two can still exist. The two can still exist.
I think the amount of the technology that we've got into that now, especially starting from 2000s, and what they can do now from astrology point of view, how they can see things and how these physicists can do all this work. It gives. I think if we had that conclusive information, as you said. I don't think people would believe it anyway, because people are into religion, and
I think people's faith is stronger than any scientific fact.
And I respect that. I respect it. When it starts turning violent and people hate people because of what they believe, that's just crazy.
It's just
like hating someone
that's
because
just
of their
very low intelligence,
skin colour. Saying it's just the lowest form of intellect.
Absolutely.
But I respect. If anyone's taking positive, do you know what? Anyone's taking any positive out of anything, they're going to there and it's offering them a positive outlook on their life.
Lovely.
I'm all for anything. Anything.
but I don't think people should be able to earn out of that. To
No.
be able to give that is a gift,
Yeah.
and to be able to take that is a gift.
Yeah.
But for someone to sit there and then go, I'm going to get money
Pass
for
the bowl
that.
round.
Exactly.
Because you've got to drop all your money in.
Absolutely disgraceful.
And you've got them televangelists in America.
Of course, the only country it could
terrible.
happen.
They're terrible. They are terrible. They come on there on program and they're just going, oh yeah, I need a fucking 676 jetliner on my airport, and then they actually give them the money. They send him over the money, and you've got these people that haven't got a pot of piss in, sending over $100, and they've got their own airplane, charter aircraft.
See,
You agree?
No,
we
it's
agree
not.
with it. You're part. You contribute.
It's the balls of it that you do have to tip your hat a little bit, and you go, "Come on, mate." For someone that sits there and goes, "Come out of the audience, I'm going to place my hands. Oh my God!" And then they start jiggling around on the floor. That man deserves 50 grand, because if he can make someone act like that, he should be a millionaire, because that is brilliant.
They are. Do you know what I mean? They should be nicked. What they're doing to people, they're ruining people's lives, and it just shows you how vulnerable people can be in order to be able to believe that stuff.
But that's what religion is, isn't it?
I think
It's
it is weird, because you look at it in some places in America, and they seem to, that's where they thrive, and obviously in different places. But we can know
God-fearing
in Western society. But that can you imagine if something like that was in the UK? People would be like, "Fuck off, mate! What are you doing?" They'd honestly be like, "Look at the state of this place."
I think you might be right.
I think you'd be arrested.
Yeah, I think you're right.
But it's the whole.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think that couldn't happen?
I think in the United Kingdom, we are not switched on to religion as much as.
I think we just been messed around too much. We don't take bullshit lightly. That's why we attack our politicians.
But don't get me wrong. I think America's such a vast nation. I mean, you got, let's just say, New York. You couldn't have anyone in New York because they're sort of like switched on people. I'm not saying everyone else around America is not switched on, or LA or anything like that, but it just seems in some parts of Middle America it's very isolated. They keep themselves to themselves. They're not really into touch with the outside world as much, and I think that's sort of has the allowance of these sort of con merchants to come in and start saying, oh, that's why you see these cults crop up. And these people in like these villages you drive through, and they're all part of this cult, and they believe that this Joe Bloggs is the God Almighty, and he's obviously not, and he's just making money out of them, and then all of a sudden he disappears.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like the whole Scientology thing.
Yeah, exactly, Scientology. Look at that. But then I don't know anyone that agrees with that. That's just batshit mental. That's just crazy.
Yeah.
But that brings nothing to nobody. That doesn't bring any peace. That doesn't bring anything. That is just a cult, and that guy's using celebrities to earn shitloads of cash.
Yeah.
Religion does that to some aspect, but not in that. If Tom Cruise, imagine an actor like Tom Cruise going, "I'm for Christianity," and then going around and building churches in Africa and stuff like that. It would never happen. Yeah. But I think religion takes the other, as you say. Oh, look, God's helped you today, so just pop a couple of quid in there.
Yeah. It's got to pay for everything, hasn't it?
Exactly. God needs money too.
It is. It's one of them things. It's a very tricky subject as well. And then some of the people that would watch that or see, you can't say anything about religion. You can't. I think modern day and the younger generation would tend to be more atheist-minded, don't they? I think the statistics support that.
And I think more often than not, I think especially nowadays, everyone has witnessed an absolute tragedy of they've seen something happen to someone a lot younger than themselves. Like, so say for example, babies that you see on television that need terminal
getting dreadfully ill.
And then you go, come on.
Can't be God's plan. I agree. But obviously, it doesn't mean I don't respect people that are
absolutely
into religion like that.
No,
and everything, whatever you believe is completely up to you. Mm-hmm. And as I said to you, anything that people do that gives them a positive outlook on life, I'm all for.
But
just as long as it's obviously not
judged.
committing a crime.
But what if someone judged you for not being a Christian? See, now I live the perfect life of a Christian. I don't murder anyone. I don't sleep with my next door neighbour's wife. I don't make images of any other god. I don't do anything like that. I'm a perfect Christian. The only thing is, I don't believe in it. So why should I be judged and go, yeah, you're going to be going down on the old escalator?
I think most people don't judge though. I think most people are all right. don't even come up into subject anywhere. Religion, you get it in the old questionnaire.
Yeah.
If you have a religion.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's very prominent on people's lips anymore. It doesn't really matter, does it?
I think people are too beaten down.
It don't really matter. Doesn't matter what you are. Doesn't matter what you believe.
Yeah.
Just as long as you're a nice person.
Yeah.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, I suppose. To live a life.
Be nice.
Yeah, be nice to each other.
Be nice to each other.
Yeah.
And kiss each other on the odd occasion.
What? That's his.
Yeah, well.
Kiss each other. Trump said that, didn't he? I'm going to kiss all the guys. I'm going to kiss all the girls. You dogs and you cats. It's going to be awesome. I'm the best French kisser of dogs you've ever seen.
That's borderline, quite feminine, that was. Borderline feminine Trump.
It was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Ugh.
On that bombshell, we're going to wrap it up.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you very much for listening in. And tune in to the next episode, which will be either with a porn star, actor, or who? Don't know.
Maybe us doing a porn. See you later.
See ya. Bye.